Hello, I'm Nikos Vatopoulos, and I would like to share with you one of my stories in my book Walking in Athens, published by Metaichmio and translated by Joshua Barley, who I think did a wonderful job, and I wish I had that skill to translate into another language. So from this book, which is a compilation of Athenian stories of strolls around the city, I chose one of my favorites because I have also this postcard, which was the inspiration for this story. It is titled A Day in Patissia, 1935. Hidden away in drawers throughout the city, evidence of Athenians who had the noble intention of life after death is to be found. I encounter them in auctions on eBay, aware that for a few euros I can buy a snapshot of the 1930s. Preserved in albums, shoeboxes or sweet boxes, in family reminiscences or in wallets, hundreds of friends and relatives' fingers will have pored over these very images at evening gatherings. The photographs were taken in Patissia, Voula, Philopapou, Nea Smyrni, Phalliro, Halandri, or in semi-rural areas with barren land and small buildings, fields and houses that today we would find charming, beside solitary trees and low houses or shacks, in muddy fields next to unheated villas with barking dogs and a strong scent of damp earth. In short, anywhere the Athenians went outside the center on bus or by foot. I pose at these family compilations, which usually have a well-established hierarchy. Others depict friends holding guitars, mouth organs, and wavy hair, or solitary poses directed by an invisible other on cliffs, wooden chairs, or low walls. Such photographs are an anthology of past lives, and in particular of ways of looking, a kaleidoscope of all possible body languages left to us by Athenians who enjoyed this city and its countryside before many of us were born and confirmed into a residence of this spot of earth. As I look at the photograph from Patissia, taken in the spring of 1935, of a father, mother, and little girl, I try to imagine them. They probably lived around Patissia Street. The photograph would have been taken by an open-air photographer who gave you a postcard or as a souvenir of the day. They might have gone to a taverna or patisserie or just to see friends or relatives nearby. The man might have been born in 1890 or 1895, had probably fought in the Balkan Wars of 1912-13 or in the Greco-Turkish War after. He might have belonged to that unfortunate generation that fought in wars for 10 years. Perhaps some illness or imperfect vision had let him off the hook. Still, in our eyes he remains awe-inspiring historical material. The woman is probably younger, born in 1900 or 1905. If Athenian, she would have been brought up near the Archaeological Museum or in Thysio, Koukaki, or Mikhail Voda Street. She would have been about 20 when the Asia Minor catastrophe occurred. She would have gone to the Attikon Cinema Theatre or others to see the silent films of the era. The little girl would have entered adolescence during the Axis occupation, and later, if she survived, she would tell stories from those years. All three figures are appealing because they touch a place that we understand that moves us. They are more or less our own relatives. The little girl might be alive, having grown up along with an Athens that would change dramatically after the war. Today, the photograph of that day in Patissia becomes a reminder of immortality and confirmation of mortality. Athens harbors us all. Thank you for joining me.